Welcome back to the Night Report podcast. I'm your host, Mike Broadbent. Joining me once again is Rutgers beat reporter Craig Epstein. Craig, Rutgers went into Madison yesterday. They lost 24-13. So if you're keeping track at home, yes, Rutgers did cover. They're now 5-0 against the spread on the season, or 6-0 against the spread on the season. I'm sorry, but they did fall in a kind of a heartbreaker in Madison. This is a game that Rutgers felt like they should have been in more than they were. I think we all kind of know the main reason why they weren't in this game. But what were some of your high level impressions before we kind of get down into the minutia of things?
Yeah, I mean, this game kind of just felt like just a recipe for kind of disaster for Rutgers here because, as we've talked about, this offense is a very run-based offense, very predicated on possessing the ball, eating up clock, wearing you down. So when you fall behind by 10-0, which ended up becoming 17-0 off of that brutal pick six, I mean, you're already putting yourself in a hole that you're basically going to spend almost the rest of the day trying to dig yourself out of. And even if you get to the point where you dig yourself out of the hole, you're probably going to be kind of worn down by the fourth quarter or late the fourth quarter, whatever it may be. So it's just like, this is kind of what you get now with when this is kind of your offense. I mean, when it works, it's awesome because as you saw in the first three games in the Wagner, you really count because that was basically just a glorified scrimmage. But as you saw in the first three games, you by the fourth quarter, those teams that are worn down because you're just crushing them up the gut. But when you face a team like Wisconsin that's might not be great, but they're talented, they've got players, they're probably going to win the Big Ten West, mostly because the Big Ten West sucks. But It is what it is, and when you fall behind by that much early, it's just really hard to dig yourself out of.
Yeah, plus our offense started so slow. If you're just looking at the drive charts, first offensive drive, 3 and out. Second offensive drive, that's the one where we get the Johnny Langan long pass for 30-some yards, but we only had 5 plays on that punt. Third drive, 3 and out. Fourth drive, 3 and out. Fifth drive, 3 and out. Sixth drive, this is the one right before half. This is when we're moving the ball. I don't know if it's something clicked. Gavin was using his legs more. That drive, we looked like a really good offense. And then the pick six happens. So you go from a game that's probably 10-7, at worst 10-3 going into half, and it's 17-0. And at that point, it is insurmountable because this offense, like you said, is not designed to be able to come back from a big loss. Schiano wants to sit on the ball, take the air out of the ball, finish games in a tidy 2 hours and 40 minutes. The advertisers hate Schiano games because they do tend to finish pretty quickly. But yeah, we can get much deeper into the offense. But I want to shout out the defense first because I thought the defense played really well. I thought we contained Tanner Mordecai pretty well. There were a few plays where I know Schiano was chewing out Aaron Lewis for biting on the RPO. He took the running back and it opened up a huge hole for Tanner Mordecai. But overall in the day, we held him to his lowest completion percentage on the season. We were able to force 2 turnovers, so we won the turnover battle. Braylon Allen got held to under 5 yards a carry, which, you should be able to do that to running backs, but considering what he's averaging like on the entire season, I mean, he's averaging almost 7 yards a carry before this game. And so Rutgers is in the last 2 Big Ten games against Michigan and against Wisconsin. They've held legitimate NFL backs in Braylon Allen and Blake Corum to well below their season averages in terms of yards per carry. So I think they're doing a really good job of not only just not breaking, allowing big plays and things like that, but really kind of turning the screws and getting the ball back to the offense pretty often. So if you look at what the defense was able to do, they forced 2 punts on their first 2 defensive series. Wisconsin missed a field goal. The next series, on the 4th series, Rutgers defense caused a fumble. So, I mean, this is a 3-0 game well into the second quarter. And then Wisconsin scores a touchdown. Rutgers looks like they're going to answer, and it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
What did you see defensively that really impressed you?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, everything you said is on point, and it's just like we've talked about before. It's just aggravating. Just this defense. We talked about it last year, how the offense was basically kind of holding back the defense. The defense is, and I think the defense is even better this year. It's just like even last year, they still got pretty much blown out by Wisconsin. This was a game. Like that's what just kills you about that. Really, that pick six towards the end of the first half, because like you said, if they get 10-7, 10-3, like this is a game in the second half. This was a game that I thought Rutgers really could have had, and even you and me were the ones that predicted Rutgers to win this game because we thought that this was a good matchup. And I still think, even though Rutgers might not be the better team, like I think they match up pretty well with this team. And it's just you just got to get a little bit more out of your offense. And Gavin Wimsatt, even if Gavin Wimsatt gives you like just an average performance, you probably win. You probably win this game, or at least keep it closer. So that's just kind of just the aggravating nature of this type of game. I think you're muted, Mike.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it was certainly a performance that could have won us the game had we had more on offense. And we're talking about Gavin here. Gavin on the day was 16 for 35, which is a 46% completion percentage, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, only sacked once. On the ground, he was 9 carries, 43 yards. That's almost 5 yards a carry. He's got these baked in accuracy issues that we've talked about this in the offseason. Accuracy is so hard to improve because I'm kind of in the Mike Leach school of thought, where like you're either the kid who could hit the stop sign with a snowball or you're not. And you said, but Mike, look at his accuracy. It's gone up this year. Well, if you look at it now, he was a 45%
down.
Well, he was a 45% completion percentage guy last year, and he's almost a 52% guy this year. Like that is still one of the worst in college football. That is like if you were to like put that in almost any other offense, it'd be utterly unacceptable. You also have Kirk Soraka, who has this like, offense that works. It's worked everywhere he's gone, basically outside of Rutgers and Penn State. So like the last decade plus, he's been a well above average offensive coordinator, getting really high production out of several different types of quarterbacks. We've talked to the I forget his name now, but we talked to the Western Michigan Zach Terrell, who was the Western Michigan's quarterback for 4 years. He was talking about how he was utilized in Kirk Soraka's offense. Then if you look at what he's done at Minnesota, he had a few different types of guys, from Tanner Morgan to Lathan Kaliak-Manis. Like he's gotten production out of a lot of different types of quarterbacks through his days, especially the last 2 stops he's been at. So he's calling games to have passes that Gavin is really comfortable with, and that's outbreaking routes, that's stuff along the sidelines. Like the whole middle of the field is kind of where Kirk gets his bread and butter out of this offense, and we're just not utilizing that part of the field because Gavin's not very accurate throwing across the middle of the field. So it's really tough to kind of do some of the core concepts of Kirk Soraka's offense when Gavin's really not accurate throwing over the middle of the field.
Yeah, exactly. I mentioned that as we talked about when we did the live stream. All their throws just felt like all their kind of like deep throws just felt like they were going off they were off on the sideline. So because they do that because like what was it you said?
He was 1 for 8 on pass attempts over 20 yards on Saturday.
Yeah, because everything is basically going to the sidelines because they figure themselves either the receiver's going to catch it or it's going to go out of bounds because they're just so so afraid of him turning the ball over. And even later on in the game, he had that he missed that shot. I think it was to Dremel, which if he hit him in stride, he maybe could have scored the touchdown, but he missed them. And it's just like that's just another example of just the inaccuracy issues he has. And I'm sure we'll talk about it when we start bringing up the Evan Simon thing, because I can already hear some people. Evan Simon had his one drive with his 3 throws, and of course it led to a touchdown. So then there's probably some people out there who are going to start the Evan Simon debate again, but. As I talked about in the live stream, was that basically the thing between Gavin and Evan is you're basically with Gavin, you're basically sacrificing accuracy for mobility. And for this offense, this team is, like I said, predicated on the run. So you're probably willing to make that sacrifice, but sometimes you have to live with what it is. Like Evan might be a little bit mobile, but he's not really the runner that Gavin, at least the danger that Gavin presents in the run game. So that's kind of just the sacrifice you got to make. And I think Shiana's shown now. I honestly figured after it looked like after Gavin got knocked basically unconscious, and it looked like he had a concussion. That I figured he was going to
Mm-hmm.
be done for the day, and it was going to be Evan's day for the rest. But they threw Gavin back out there, so I think if that shows anything, it's that Gavin's the guy, whether people like it or not, and that's just unless he really gets injured, that's just the way it's going to be. And
Yeah,
knock
and
on
if
wood,
you
that
look a
doesn't
little,
happen.
yeah, if you look a little deeper into his stats, like if let's say we take the Wagner game out of his statistics, where he threw for 63%, so he was 12 of 19 against Wagner. If you take that out on the season, he is exactly 50%. He's literally 50-50 on all throws against FBS opponents. That's just not good enough in this game, in this level of football. You have to be better than that. And we'll go deeper into it. We're going to do a little bit of a film breakdown, but um, I kind of want to talk about some of the other players I thought were worth shouting out. Um, I thought Jaquay Jackson once again had a few really nice catches. Ian Strong, I thought, you know, when you see games like this, we've been talking about it over and over and over every single game
Yeah,
since the Temple game or since the Northwestern game. Why is he not playing more?
I don't
Ian
know.
Strong is so clearly one of our best receivers, and we're not playing him. I don't understand it. This guy needs to be on the field for at least 70% of our offensive snaps moving forward. He should be a starting receiver. Jaquay Jackson clearly should be a starter. Isaiah Washington's fine. He's not like a guy who's going to be a game breaker for you. Uh, Christian Dremel is what he is. He's a slot receiver. He's, the kind of guy who works over the middle, or he should be working over the middle, which we don't really utilize. A thing I thought was really surprising, this kind of goes back to the play calling, is the run game. They just, from the start, were like, you guys are not going to run all over us. You're going to have to win by passing the ball. And they were just daring us all game to pass. I think so. Kyle Monungai averaged less than 2 yards, or around two. He averaged 2 yards a carry on Saturday. Jashawn Benjamin was the only other running back who got a touch, or at least a rush. He was 4 for 13. It's wild when you just see how successful the run game was against some lower level opponents, and then the last couple games just has been totally shut down.
Yeah, you could tell in this one it didn't. They weren't gonna power rush. The Wisconsin team. Like I felt like they were maybe because I felt like Jashawn Benjamin, even though he ended up with just 4 carries, I felt like he was actually in the game more than Monungai. So
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like they were trying to they were trading some power for more speed. But it just goes back to, I mean, at this point in the season, you should know what your strengths and weaknesses are. So, like Ian Strong,
Yep.
it seems like every time this guy has the ball in his hands, something good happens. He
Yep.
should be in this. He should be playing more. Like period. End of story. And Kyle Monungai, he was been your best player through the first how many games. And as much as it stinks that he couldn't get anything going in this game, that's kind of just if he can't get anything going, then this team is probably just going to lose that game because, like I said, he's just
Yep.
your best runner. And with Sam Brown, it just does not look like he's healthy. Like the fact that he didn't get into this game till like late in the fourth quarter, and there's just nothing. Like at this point, like I don't know what more you can do with him at this point because it just looks like he's just not okay with the foot injury. So it is what it is there. But like I said, if they can't get the run game going, then this team is probably not going to win. They were held under 100 yards rushing in this game, and anytime that happens, then that means Gavin's going to be throwing the ball more, and unless he significantly improves his accuracy and just everything, this team is just not going to win games like this.
Yeah, and I kind of want to I'm going to share my screen. So if you're listening and not watching on YouTube, just bear with us here because we're going to just dive into some stats. So if we just look at efficiency numbers from Saturday, Rutgers somehow finished with 16 first downs. I think after their first 5 drives, like I said, they only had 5 first downs. But Wisconsin overall went 9 of 17 on the day on third down. Rutgers went 2 of 12. Rutgers was 1 of 2 on fourth down. Wisconsin was 0 for 1. Wisconsin had more total yards, 358 to Rutgers 275. Shocking to me that Rutgers had that much more passing yards, 211 to Wisconsin's 145. So I kind of wanted to talk about just like Evan Simon hopping in for 3 plays and looking really good, coming in cold off the bench after somehow uh, Wisconsin didn't get called for targeting, even though it was one of the more clear targeting calls I've ever seen. Like, he launched himself with the crown of his helmet into the back of Gavin's helmet, which is the most dangerous place you could hit somebody is on the back of the head. They call targeting on the field, and then they overturn it, which you got to wonder, do they overturn it because Wohler is their best player on defense? And if you get a targeting call in the second half, you miss the following half of football, so that he would miss the first half of the Iowa game next week? I don't know. We talked about getting the Reynolds wrap in the room. This is the moment I'd put it on my head here, guys.
I don't get the targeting call anymore, because in the beginning of the season it felt like they would just throw it out like friggin' candy, and even on hits. This hit, I mean, I don't know. Maybe if you go by letter of the law, he didn't launch his helmet into his helmet, but he launched himself into Gavin's basically back, like upper back, caused his head to hit the turf. Like, what is the purpose of this rule? Is it just letter of the law, or are you trying to protect people? Because if we're trying to protect people, that was a pretty crazy dangerous hit that I think should have been targeting. So the fact that it got picked up just goes to show. And as a Jet fan, I'm just used to seeing, the quarterback you're watching get just mauled and no flag. I mean, the Jets haven't gotten a roughing the passer call in almost 2 years now. So what the hell? But that's my Jet rant for now at least.
For now, this is what a Jet fan looks like after a win, guys. By the
I
way,
know.
So Craig's just filled with nothing but piss and vinegar. Just always is been distilled down into just bitterness and anger.
Hey, listen, not all of us can be 5-0.
Not all of us can. Just a couple teams can, but I'm not gonna get into that. Rutgers lost the time of possession battle. Wisconsin almost had 33 minutes time of possession. Rutgers had 27. And again, this is a function of them not being able to really run the ball. They can't really run the clock if you can't run the ball. In this level of football. Rutgers won the turnover battle 2-1. It felt like there were more penalties called on Rutgers than 4, but I guess that's all it was, with 4 for 36. Wisconsin had 2 for 25. I want to shout out some individual players on defense too that I thought were standouts. I thought Aaron Lewis was constantly in the backfield. I thought Mo Toure as well. He made a ton of good plays in terms of him just being disruptive, him blowing up some run plays. Flip Dixon had another outstanding game. Robert Longerbeam I thought was fantastic in coverage. Those are the 4 guys to me, just off memory, on defense that really showed out. How about for you? Is there anybody's performance, either offense or defense, we haven't talked about that you want to highlight?
I thought Milton actually stepped up. We've been kind of critical on him the past few games, but I thought he stepped up a bit more in this game. Like, started to show a little bit more of why we had such high expectations for him. So credit to him, did step up. And I don't know, it's just tough because like I said, offensively there wasn't really much going on. I guess, like I said, Ian Strong, because he scored the touchdown, and every time he seems to catch the ball, something good happens. So play him more.
Yeah, there's no excuse at this point. He needs to be playing more, and I think he will. Rutgers has a big game this upcoming weekend, homecoming against Michigan State. I think they opened as a 3-point favorite, and that quickly got bet up. I don't know what they're at now, but it was at around 5 last time I checked.
Oh, okay, 5. Last I saw was 4.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is exactly at, but that's kind of a dead zone between 4.5 and 5. 5.5 isn't as much, but yeah, you'd expect that line to shift one way or the other in the near future.
Although, like we said, Rutgers is undefeated so far this year, covering the spread. So as long as Rutgers can remain the favorite,
Yeah, I don't think there's. I do wonder how many Power 5 teams have gone 6-0 against the spread this year. I can't imagine there's many. But I'm not going to look that up live.
It's pretty crazy, though. That's just impressive, I guess.
It's very impressive. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the film breakdown of every throw Gavin made in the Wisconsin game. We've done this before. Just kind of want to go through it. We will just kind of give a high-level take on how we thought each play goes. So the first pass attempt of the game, was 3rd and 11 from the Rutgers 24-yard line. This is Rutgers' first offensive series. I'm going to need this too. I think this is the out route on the left side to Dremel for like 4 yards. I mean, for me, like, there's no upside to making this throw.
Yeah.
I would rather him just yeet the thing downfield and do like an arm punt, or just try at least and get a first down. Like, he catches the ball and he has to, like, he throws it away from his body. So Dremel has to dive and try and catch it. And say he even miraculously stays on his feet, the defender's basically on his back. There's just no upside to this throw. So it's a completion and it's yardage, but it's literally like, it's almost like running the ball.
It's just
3rd and 11.
3rd and 11, throwing that short of the sticks, just no point.
Yep. So next offensive drive, it is 2nd and 8 from the Rutgers 20. Gavin throws it to the left side. This is the Johnny Langan long catch and run. I wish they would show all 22 film, because it's really tough on the broadcast to see kind of the plays developing downfield. I don't know if there was some kind of rub there to get Johnny wide open, or if there was just some kind of busted coverage, but there was nobody even close to Johnny. And Gavin's comfortable making those kind of throws when it's over the middle and there's nobody around him. But when there is any sort of kind of tight coverage or guys in the area, that's when he can sail the balls, or when he's not as comfortable. Next throw is 3rd and 5 from the Wisconsin 45-yard line. 5 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. Wisconsin just rushes 4. Gavin throws it over the middle, and it's nowhere near his intended target of Isaiah Washington.
Pocket pretty much just collapsed there. And
his pocket collapsed, but like,
it's not good.
It was nowhere near him.
Right.
So it's tight coverage. If you look, both Dremel and Isaiah Washington are blanketed by a DB. You got 2 linebackers playing some kind of zone coverage there. And it's tough to kind of get the exact frame, but it's just way over Isaiah Washington's head. Probably catchable if you put it on him. Washington is covered by Wohler there, because they're, like I said, their best defender, but just no chance for him to catch that ball. Next drive, it is 1st and 10 from the from the Rutgers 9-yard line. 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Gavin throws one deep. This is to Jaquay Jackson. He turns him around a couple times.
Yeah, you appreciate the shot, but it's just nowhere. Again, but like I said, it's just to the sideline. So it's like it's either going to be a humongous gain or just nothing, and it got nothing. So
yeah, the ball was snapped from close to the left hash, and so there's more room for Jaquay to run on the right side. And Jaquay was running a few yards inside from the sideline, and Gavin throws it basically out of bounds, just nowhere near his intended target. 3rd and 5 now from the Rutgers 14. 1 minute and 20 seconds left. Clock's running. Gavin drops back. Another deep shot. This is to Dremel this time, and he really had no chance. Yeah. He had a corner on him, number 23. I don't know what his name is, but ball wasn't thrown near him. It wasn't thrown near the DB either, so I guess that's a positive. But again, we're seeing a theme here. Throwing deep is just so hit or miss for Gavin. All right, we got 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Over the middle. Intended target was Christian Dremel on a slant route, and nowhere near him. So at this point, he's 2 for 6 passing in this game. Almost all of his yardage is from that one Johnny Langan catch.
21 yards.
Yep. So it's 2nd and 10 now from the Rutgers 35. 14 minutes left in the second quarter. He motions Sean Benjamin to his opposite side. And so he's late on this throw.
Yeah. He still made something out of it, but just that's the difference.
Deshaun has to basically come to a full stop when he catches that ball.
Yeah,
So basically, like right here is where you should throw it. You hit him in stride.
Because then that doesn't give the chance to the linebacker right there to get over there. So that could potentially be a first down.
Mm-hmm. But instead, he wastes that extra second. By the time he catches it, it's not a good throw, so he has to jump up to catch it. He turns, and he's already got a linebacker basically right on him. So it goes from what could probably been, maybe a first down to a 4-yard gain. Next offensive play, 7 minutes left, 7:23 left in the second quarter, 3rd and 10 from deep in Rutgers territory. It is from the Rutgers 4-yard line. It's like Wisconsin's at least showing pressure here. They just bring 4.
Yeah, it's just
this wasn't that bad of a throw.
It wasn't
actually.
that throw. Yeah, he actually caught it, but again, it's just to the sideline. So it's just 3rd and 10 from. It's almost like I don't want to say you're giving up, but it's just 3rd and 10 from basically your own end zone, and you're just throwing it off to the sideline in a throw that's either going to be a gain or it's just I don't know. It's just sometimes you got to take a chance because there was nothing, like it's all or nothing, and they just consistently are ending up with nothing.
Yeah, so Ian Strong here makes a good catch. I wish they would have shown this on replay because it looked like it was closer than the announcers made it seem. And that's another thing. The announcers were terrible on Saturday. They were just like, every single name. You said it, Craig. It was like the Key and Peele sketch, like Aaron, or like every single player that they tried to announce their name, they just messed up somehow. So. All right, now we have first and 10, from the Rutgers 37, with 2 minutes and 35 seconds left in the game. It's 10-0 Wisconsin. This is the drive where things start to get cooking. So Gavin hits Jaquay Jackson on a slant for a first down. Now it's 1st and 10 with 2 minutes left in the second quarter from the Rutgers 49. Gavin takes the snap. He rolls out to his right. That was not really a great throw. He was getting pressured though, so
I think you got to catch
that. Whatever.
But he's got a guy.
It is what it is. Him, so. 2nd and 10 now from the Rutgers 49. Gavin drops back. He throws deep along the left sideline to Jaquay Jackson. This, I believe, is the only reception of over 20 yards for Rutgers on the day. Jaquay makes a great adjustment to the ball in air to bring it down to about the 25-yard line of Wisconsin. So now 2nd and goal from the Wisconsin 6-yard line. 26 seconds left.
Everybody close your eyes.
Yeah, everybody close your eyes. You can probably hear the announcer making this call again. So this is the pick 6. I want you to kind of, and I should have said this at the beginning, Gavin blocks into so many of his receivers when he's making he doesn't really, he just kind of locks into his first target, and that's what the Wisconsin DB said after the game too. Mm-hmm. The guy who catches this ball, Hallman, I think his name is.
Yeah.
He said, like, on film, we noticed that he just kind of locks in, and you just got to play. He basically said you got to like play dumb a bit. You got to play off and just wait for him to make that throw because you know where it's going because wherever he's looking at, he's probably going to make the throw there. And so he said you have to kind of like bait him into making that throw, and then you pounce on it.
If you look at how much room they're giving the receivers, though, they're all basically at the 1. So if you just get a quick throw off, you might get something out of it. But instead, they, as you'll see, they went with kind of more of a longer developing play, and we're about to see what happens.
It's not even that long developing.
Yeah, like just longer.
Right here.
Yeah,
he decides to throw it, and if you watch, the DB is already breaking on that route on the top of the screen here. So Jaquay Jackson's running a drag route along like the 2-yard line to kind of create a natural pick, but since they're not playing, since they're playing so off, the pick doesn't really do anything because there's no DB to kind of interfere with their route, or not their route, but their coverage. So Dremel his defender is going to have just an open lane to the ball, and Gavin sails it a bit, but he puts a little air under this one, and it just makes it way too easy to make the interception. And that's the pick 6. And I want to show, for comparison's sake, Virginia Tech, 7 seconds left in the first half. Tell me where this play looks familiar. It's not the same route concept, but it's the same exact route to Kristen Dremel. And we don't have many offensive pass attempts in the red zone this year. So it's not like they had to do some kind of extensive tape study to kind of know what our tendencies were in the red zone. We don't have, you know what I mean? Like,
and it just felt like I think I mentioned on the stream where it just, you could tell that felt just something where it's like, this is the play, don't divert from it, just throw it to this guy. But he waited just too long, and like we said, that's what led to the guy jumping the route, taking it, and taking it back.
I don't even think he waited too long. He just,
I think it was like
the second the ball was snapped, he stared at Dremel and waited for him to turn his head. And by the time he did,
just a horrible play all around.
Yeah. All right. First offensive possession for Rutgers out of the second half. They have the ball at the Rutgers 27-yard line, 2nd and 9. Another thing you'll notice: a lot of drives start off with a run up the middle that went for no gain or 1 yard or 2 yards, setting up 2nd and long. We couldn't get anything going in the run game, which forced Gavin to throw 35 times. I think was the most he's thrown the ball all season, if I'm remembering correctly. I'll just check this real quick. Yeah, it was the most pass attempts he had since the Northwestern game. He threw 29 times against Northwestern, 35 against Wisconsin. So play action here. Throws it over the middle. Nice throw to Isaiah Washington, who's wide open. They get it down to the 40-yard line. So now it's 2nd and 7 from the Rutgers 43. 13 minutes left on the clock in the third quarter. He motions Jaquay Jackson in a bit. Lines up stacked with Dremel. Nice pitch and catch. I mean, you notice that like when he throws to Jaquay Jackson, things tend to go well. And that was just 10-yard out route. Now it's 1st and 10 from the Wisconsin 49. 12 and a half minutes left in the third quarter. It's a rollout, which looks like it was designed QB run, and he just throws it into double coverage. I don't know. That's the kind of play, like, you have to know that's not – they picked up on it. You think, like, maybe we can catch him sleeping. You saw that a few times on Sunday if you were watching the Lions game. You know, you saw Sam Laporta on a play that's similar. It wasn't the same play as this. I want to say that because there was kind of some, you know, there was like a flea flicker element to both these plays, but both plays I'm talking about right now. But, you know, misdirection caused the guy to run, you know, wide open down the field. The same thing happened in the 49ers game with George Kittle. You can't make that throw if it's not there. You just got to tuck it and run, or you got to throw it out of bounds. He's outside the tackle box, so he's no penalty for just like yeeting the thing to the third row. You just can't put the ball in harm's way, and that's what he did right there.
Yeah.
So we got 2nd and 10 now from the Wisconsin 49. 12 minutes and 19 seconds left on the clock. Gavin had Jaquay Jackson wide open. Yep. I mean, if you look at where he is on the field when he throws this.
Yeah, that one should be easy.
Yeah.
Again, back to the accuracy issues.
I don't know why this is so hard to get on here. Whatever. All right, next drive. Rutgers is taking over from the 33-yard line. It is 9:42 left on the clock. 1st and 10. Motions Dremel. Throws the ball to Aaron Young for 4-yard pickup. Now it's 2nd and 16. There must have been a hold in between these last two plays. So 2nd and 16 now from the Rutgers 27-yard line. Not a great down and distance for Rutgers offense. This has been something they struggled with.
Yeah, that's what's so annoying.
They get a penalty.
Yeah, you get into 16. It's like you were just so far behind the 8 ball. It's just trying to get. It's just kind of kills the drive. It feels like most of the time.
So look how off their DBs are playing too. Bad throw. I couldn't tell if that was broken up or whatever. That was to Kristen Dremel. Incomplete. 3rd and 16 now from the Rutgers 27. Look how off they're playing still. I mean, when the thing I don't like is like when you're seeing a formation like that where the DBs are lining so far off, you want to try and get the ball to somebody quick,
Yeah.
and then set up some blocking in front of
Just
them.
take like
So
some short intermediate throws. Just keep them honest, because they do that, then they might start moving back in a little bit, and then they can possibly open things up down the field again. But they're just not doing that.
you just have to set up some kind of check at the line where you say, he's done it a couple times this season. Like the one deep throw against Temple was an example of it, where he checked at the line and he hit a long completion to Quay Jackson. There needs to be a check at the line saying, like, look at this coverage, they're playing off, let's get it to so and so on like a quick slant and whatever. I'm oversimplifying things, but there needs to be a check for when the coverage dictates something else should happen, then throw it deep, because there's just
like
when you have seven DBs, or when you have seven guys playing that far off, like you're basically playing like toes on the line defense, like trying to like prevent a big play.
And the receiver core like isn't great, but you have some speedy guys between Jackson and Benjamin. Just give it to them, and just let them run a bit, but see what happens.
Yeah. So Rutgers has the ball now from the Rutgers 43-yard line. There's 6.5 minutes left in the third quarter. 1st and 10 here. They're still down 17-0 at this point as well. So the defense has done a good job of stifling Wisconsin. Look how many guys are out of the box here. They rush a linebacker. It's only 4 rushers, though. They get the ball out to Jashawn Benjamin. He makes a nice move. Gets like 7 yards there.
Yeah.
Setting up 1st and 10 from the Wisconsin 47. Gavin makes a nice throw here to Jesse O'Fury. He's another guy I think should be probably playing more. But now there's been a couple of scores here. So Wisconsin is now up 24-6. So this cut out the portion of the game where Gavin got hurt and Evan and Simon came in and had like a 3-play drive to create a touchdown. We can probably go to that really quick if we want to just watch Simon's highlights to kind of make the game make a little more sense on this broadcast here. 1 second, I'm just getting that video up.
Yeah, like I said before, I was a little surprised they didn't give him some more time. I guess they really, really do not want a quarterback type of controversy, but they did seem to get a little bit of a spark in there. I was surprised, maybe.
Yeah, so Evan takes over here from the Wisconsin 34. First throw, perfect throw to Isaiah Washington on a drag route. Gets down to the 14-yard line, I want to say. Now they're taking over 2nd and 6 from the Wisconsin 10-yard line. It's an RPO, and he just throws it right out of the end zone. And that's fine. There was nothing there. Lived to play another down. 3rd and 6 now from the 10-yard line. Evan rolls out, hits Aaron Young for the touchdown. So he had 3 pass attempts. He went 2 for 3 with a touchdown. I mean, sometimes in an offense, and you look at a guy like Brock Purdy, you just need a guy who's gonna hit the stuff that is given to him. You don't need to like be this Anthony Richardson level athlete to have success at a high level in offenses that are designed just to kind of point and shoot. That's kind of what Kirk Soraka's offense is designed to do. Like, if you just hit the guys that are going to be open, that are schemed open, you're going to have success. And that's some of the things that Gavin struggles with. So we got an RPO here. Gavin feels some pressure, and he takes a hit as he throws, and it kind of goes nowhere. That's not that huge of a deal. 2nd and 10 minutes, 43 on the clock. In the fourth quarter, Rutgers at the ball's at the Rutgers 35. Gavin drops back, throws it way over the head of a wide open Quay Jackson. That's the second time he's missed a wide open Quay Jackson in the game on the slant route. It's now 3rd and 10 from the Rutgers 35. Gavin throws it once again, 6 yards short of the sticks. No chance to get a first down to Johnny Langan there. It's 1st and 10 now from the Rutgers 30. It is 7:45 left in the game. RPO. Gavin rolls out, throws a really nice pass there to. I didn't see who it was to, but it was a really nice pass. One of his better throws on the game. Now Rutgers is at the Wisconsin 39-yard line.
That was the
Misses
one.
a wide open Christian Dremel. You're not going to get much more wide open at this level, and he throws it 5 yards
I
over
mean,
his head.
even if he hits them, do they win? Probably not. But it's just like one
No.
where it's just like you got to hit that because it's just these opportunities don't come around a lot during the game, and we weren't even. I mean, like, we're not even sure if he was going to score with that. But again, it's just another example of just the inaccuracy issues costing.
Yep. No, I mean that one throw specifically is not going to flip the outcome, but
Right.
if you it's kind of like if every single day you like one day of missing a workout isn't going to make you become unhealthy, but it's a habit thing. You have to do it every day. You have to do every single throw with the right mechanics, the right mentality, the right whatever, because that's how you stack them up. 2nd and 10 now from the Wisconsin 39, 7:22 left in the game. He motions Aaron Young from his left to his right. Drops back. He steps up in the pocket. Does a great job of feeling pressure there. Throws it across the middle to Isaiah Washington. They get down to the Wisconsin 19-yard line. That was a pass. It was a fade route to Ian Strong. He almost caught it. He almost came down with it. You got to utilize Ian Strong's size more, like they just tried to there. He's just too good of an athlete, too good of a player to not utilize him fully. So now we're 6:43 left in the game, still 24-6. 2nd and 10 from the Wisconsin 19-yard line. Again, the stacked formation with Jaquay and Dremel on the left side, and he just throws it way out of bounds.
Sideline,
no chance.
Either all or nothing. Nothing.
3rd and 10 now from the Wisconsin 19. Gavin gets through his progressions here pretty well.
Yeah, that was it.
Give him credit. Gets down to the 11-yard line, so it's now 4th and 2. He rolls out to his left, and he just throws it right into the nutsack of the poor reporter there.
Yeah. What's his name? I think his name's like Keith Bacon or something.
I don't know, but that's
Kevin Bacon.
He did a good job of avoiding pressure there, but he didn't give any of his receivers a chance. I'd much rather in that situation see him at least try and force it to somebody, because you're down 18 points. You're 4th and 2 from the Wisconsin 11. You need to get a first down. If you throw an interception at that point, you're still going to lose. It's whatever. You can't force balls in tight games, but in this situation, you're in desperation mode. You have to force something in to at least give a receiver a chance. 1st and 10 now from the Wisconsin 21. This coming off a turnover. Incomplete on the right side to Ian Strong. No chance of even catching that. 2nd and 10 now. He motions Ian Strong into that stack formation they like to use. And it's a 9-yard completion on an out route to Ian Strong, setting up. Now it's 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line of Wisconsin. And this is the backdoor cover. Ian Strong, if you noticed in the 4th quarter, Ian Strong was doing really well. I don't know why it took 3 quarters to get him more playing time. But
6 games in 3 quarters.
Yeah. But anyway, that's kind of everything I wanted to cover today. Craig, is there anything you wanted to touch on before we sign off?
I think it just showed, it's just that, is Gavin good? No. Is Gavin bad? I would say no. It's just a lot of inconsistency, and if they can hone that consistency at least a little bit against the likes of Michigan State and Indiana, they're probably going to win. But if he plays like that against them, then it's going to be tougher than it should be. So these next 2 weeks are just. I don't think I really need to talk about how big these are. This is probably going to be the difference between Rutgers going bowling or not. So it all starts with Michigan State. You're facing a team that's basically. They're coming off their bye, which stinks to face a team coming off their bye again. But it's a team right now that's basically a mess between everything that's going on with Mel Tucker. So this should be a game. Rutgers is favored in this game for a reason. So Rutgers should go out there, take care of business, beat Michigan State, and hopefully this should be a big weekend for Rutgers because I'm sure we've all seen by now all the basketball recruits that are going to be there and some of the ones that we think are going to be there. So if Rutgers can,
Well, we don't think anymore. We have confirmed who the
yeah.
visitors are going to be.
Nice. There you go.
So the entire 2024 class will be on campus for official visits this weekend outside of Dylan Grant. Dylan Grant already took his official visit in this recruiting calendar cycle. He took his in August, so he will not be able to take an official visit. But Ace Bailey will be there on an official visit. Lathan Somerville will be there on an official visit. Bryce Dortch will be there on an official visit. Additionally, class of 2025 5-star Trey McKenney from Michigan will be there. Shout out to Coach Smoke for doing a great job recruiting that kid. He's somebody, if you haven't followed, Coach Smoke has gone out to visit him 3 times in September. Pike came with him twice too. This is a guy that, similar to Ace Bailey, you wouldn't expect Rutgers to be able to pull in a 5-star from, some random play, not random in terms of Michigan, but random in terms of geographical vicinity of Rutgers, to be able to pull him in. And then, did I forget anybody?
I don't know. There's a kid?
I did forget somebody. Dylan Harper will be on campus on his official visit this upcoming weekend. I know there was a lot of speculation that it might happen. We had been hearing it was most likely going to be this weekend, but it was confirmed this weekend that he would be at Rutgers this weekend for an official visit. I think anything's possible at this point in his recruitment. Wouldn't surprise me at all if things are starting to wind down there.
For Richie's sake, please.
For Richie's sake, I hope so. But you got to feel really good about that, since there was a lot of speculation about him setting up visits to Auburn and Kansas. None of those have materialized, but they did materialize to Rutgers twice this fall already. He visited for the Northwestern game, and now he'll be visiting for the Michigan State game.
I'm just saying, beating Michigan State and getting a Dylan Harper commitment, that wouldn't be the worst way to spend the weekend.
It wouldn't be. I don't want to put I don't want to count our chickens before they hatch too much, but I do feel really good about this development. It's just a huge move to get him on campus for his official visit. I just looked it up. Rutgers is now a 5.5-point favorite against Michigan State. Michigan State will be breaking in a freshman quarterback. They benched Noah Kim, and they'll be starting something Hauser. He'll be making his first start as
Dookie Hauser?
A college quarterback. Huh?
Is it Dookie Hauser?
It's not Doogie Hauser. Not him. But we will break that down fully for you guys this week. We'll have a preview show. We will break down the basketball recruiting front because our guy Richie is not here, and he is the master of whispers, if you're a Game of Thrones fan. So he'll have way more color as to what's going on the basketball recruiting front. But for me and Craig, this has been another edition of the Night Report podcast. Signing off.